History Docos presents the 80th anniversary of D-Day, a turning point in World War II. D-Day, June 6, 1944, stands as a pivotal moment in history. Operation Overlord, the Allied invasion of Normandy, France, marked a critical step towards liberating Europe from Nazi control. World War II, raging since 1939, saw Nazi Germany dominating much of Europe. The Eastern Front witnessed brutal battles between the Soviets and Germans, but a Western Front was crucial to relieve pressure on the Soviets and hasten the war's end. The Allies, including the US, UK, Canada, and others, recognized the need for a major offensive to penetrate Hitler's Fortress Europe. Overlord, years in the making, demanded unprecedented coordination between military branches and nations. The scale was staggering: over 5,000 ships, 11,000 aircraft, and 156,000 troops mobilized. Beyond securing a foothold, the goal was to liberate Paris and ultimately defeat Nazi Germany. Normandy, not the heavily fortified Pas-de-Calais, was chosen strategically. Allies employed deception tactics, creating a fictitious army group to mislead the Germans about the true invasion location. This element of surprise was crucial to minimize German defenses. As D-Day approached, anticipation and urgency hung heavy on the Allied forces. General Eisenhower, the supreme commander, faced immense pressure. His famous pre-invasion message highlighted the high stakes and uncertainty. Yet, meticulous planning, rigorous training, and unwavering determination of Allied troops set the stage for a turning point. At dawn on June 6th, the largest armada ever assembled assaulted Normandy beaches. This momentous event signified the beginning of the end for Nazi Germany. The bravery and sacrifice displayed on D-Day are forever remembered, a testament to unity and the fight for freedom. With Europe under Nazi control and the Soviets fighting relentlessly on the Eastern Front, the Allies knew a Western Front was vital. This chapter delves into the crucial planning and strategic decisions that made D-Day possible. The war began in 1939 with Germany's invasion of Poland. Rapid German victories followed, culminating in France's fall in 1940. Britain, led by Churchill, stood alone against the Axis in Western Europe. Meanwhile, the Soviets engaged in brutal battles on the Eastern Front, most notably at Stalingrad, 1942-1943, where they gained the upper hand. The Soviets pressured the West for a second front to ease the pressure. Recognizing this need, the Allies began planning. The Arcadia Conference 1941 established a Europe First strategy prioritizing Nazi Germany's defeat. Operations like Torch 1942 in North Africa and campaigns in Sicily and Italy 1943 provided valuable lessons in joint operations and amphibious warfare, highlighting the need for meticulous planning for the upcoming French invasion. In May 1943, the combined chiefs of staff oversaw Operation Overlord's planning. General Morgan drafted initial plans for landings on the Normandy coast, chosen for its beaches and proximity to the crucial port of Cherbourg. Operation Bodyguard, a comprehensive deception plan, aimed to mislead the Germans about the invasion's location. This included creating a fictitious army group under General Patton to suggest an attack at Pas-de-Calais. By 1944, the Allied force buildup in Britain was underway. Millions of troops from various Allied nations gathered, preparing for the largest amphibious invasion ever. Training exercises like Exercise Tiger simulated beach landings, revealing the potential dangers and difficulties ahead. General Eisenhower, appointed Supreme Commander in December 1943, shouldered the immense task of uniting diverse Allied forces. His leadership and diplomacy were crucial for a unified effort. Originally scheduled for June 5th, the invasion faced a significant risk: the weather. Unfavorable conditions forced a 24-hour delay. With a brief window of improved weather predicted for June 6th, Eisenhower made the fateful decision to proceed. As soldiers prepared to embark, they knew the high stakes and potential costs. The road to D-Day was paved with intense preparation, strategic planning, and unwavering resolve. This historic endeavor would soon unfold on the beaches of Normandy, forever changing the course of history. The success of D-Day depended on meticulous planning and preparation. This chapter explores the specific logistical details and strategic innovations that were crucial for Operation Overlord. As mentioned previously, planning for D-Day began in earnest in 1943. General Frederick E. Morgan, as Chief of Staff to the Supreme Allied Commander, Cossack, drafted the initial plans for the Normandy landings, selected for its suitable beaches and proximity to Cherbourg. By early 1944, the buildup of Allied forces in Britain was in full swing. The sheer scale of this operation was unprecedented. Over 5,000 ships, 11,000 aircraft, and 156,000 troops were mobilized. Training exercises, such as Exercise Tiger, were conducted to simulate beach landings and coordinated assaults, revealing potential dangers and difficulties. Air superiority was crucial for the success of the landings. Allied air forces conducted extensive bombing campaigns to destroy German infrastructure and weaken their defenses. Naval forces played an equally important role, providing bombardment support during the landings and ensuring the safe transportation of troops across the English Channel. The coordination between air, naval, and ground forces was essential for the operation's success. The logistical efforts required for D-Day were immense. Engineers constructed artificial harbors, known as mulberry harbors, to facilitate rapid unloading of cargo onto the beaches. The pipeline under the ocean, Pluto, was developed to transport fuel from Britain to the advancing Allied forces in France. These innovations were critical in sustaining the invasion force and ensuring continuous supply lines. General Dwight D. Eisenhower, appointed Supreme Commander of the Allied Expeditionary Force, played a pivotal role in uniting the diverse Allied forces. His leadership and decision-making were critical in the final days leading up to the invasion. The weather posed a significant risk, and unfavorable conditions forced a 24-hour delay. On June 5th, with a brief window of improved weather predicted, Eisenhower made the fateful decision to proceed with the invasion. As soldiers prepared to embark on their mission, they were acutely aware of the high stakes and the potential cost of failure. The intense preparation, strategic planning, and unwavering resolve of the Allied forces set the stage for the historic events that would soon unfold on the beaches of Normandy, forever changing the course of history. The night before D-Day was filled with anticipation, tension, and meticulous final preparations. This chapter explores the critical actions and emotions experienced by the Allied forces as they prepared to embark on the historic mission. On the evening of June 5, 1944, final briefings were held across the Allied camps. Commanders gathered their troops to outline the mission's objectives and reiterate the importance of their roles. General Dwight D. Eisenhower, the Supreme Allied Commander, visited the paratroopers of the 101st Airborne Division, offering words of encouragement and emphasizing the significance of their mission. This moment, captured in iconic photographs, symbolized the gravity of the upcoming invasion. As mentioned previously, airborne operations were a crucial part of the initial phase of the invasion. On the night of June 5th, thousands of paratroopers from the 82nd and 101st Airborne Divisions, along with British and Canadian airborne units, prepared for their drop into Normandy. Their objectives included securing key bridges, roads, and other strategic points to facilitate the main seaborne invasion. These airborne troops faced the daunting task of jumping into enemy territory under the cover of darkness. While the paratroopers prepared for their nighttime jumps, the massive naval armada began its journey across the English Channel. Over 5,000 ships, including battleships, destroyers, and transport vessels, set sail under the cover of night. The coordination required for this movement was immense, with ships following precise schedules to ensure a synchronized arrival at the Normandy beaches. The night was marked by a sense of solemn duty and quiet resolve among the sailors and soldiers aboard the ships. Amidst the logistical preparations, the soldiers also faced intense personal reflections. Many wrote letters to their families, aware of the risks and uncertain of their fate. The night was a mixture of camaraderie and introspection, as troops tried to rest amid the tension and noise of final preparations. The shared sense of purpose and brotherhood helped bolster their resolve as they faced the unknown. The weather played a critical role in the timing of the invasion. As mentioned previously, unfavorable conditions had forced a 24-hour delay. On the night of June 5th, a brief window of improved weather was predicted for June 6th, leading Eisenhower to make the final decision to proceed. This decision underscored the high stakes and the delicate balance of factors that could influence the operation's success. As the clock ticked towards midnight, paratroopers boarded their planes, and naval vessels continued their approach. The night before D-Day was a blend of meticulous planning, high tension, and personal reflection. The stage was set for the historic assault that would unfold on the beaches of Normandy, marking a turning point in World War II. At dawn on June 6, 1944, the largest amphibious invasion in history began. Known as D-Day, the Allied forces launched a coordinated assault on the beaches of Normandy, France. This chapter covers the intense and harrowing landings that marked the beginning of Operation Overlord. As the first light of dawn broke over the English Channel, the massive Allied armada, comprising over 5,000 ships, approached the Normandy coast. The landings were spread across 5 beaches: Utah, Omaha, Gold, Juno, and Sword. Each beach was assigned to different Allied nations, with American forces landing at Utah and Omaha, British forces at Gold and Sword, and Canadian forces at Juno. At Utah Beach, the landings began relatively smoothly. The strong currents had pushed the landing craft off course, but this turned out to be beneficial as they avoided the heaviest German defenses. Brigadier General Theodore Roosevelt Jr., the only general to land with the first wave of troops, famously declared, "We'll start the war from here." The American forces quickly secured the beach and began moving inland. Omaha Beach, in stark contrast, was the most heavily defended and became the site of the fiercest fighting. As mentioned previously, the German fortifications were formidable, with machine gun nests, artillery, and obstacles designed to repel the invaders. The first waves of American troops faced devastating fire, suffering heavy casualties. Despite the chaos and high losses, the soldiers displayed remarkable bravery and tenacity. Slowly, they fought their way off the beach and breached the German defenses. British and Canadian forces faced their own challenges at Gold, Juno, and Sword beaches. At Gold Beach, the British 50th Infantry Division encountered strong resistance but managed to secure key objectives, including the town of Arromanches, where they later established a crucial artificial harbor. The Canadians at Juno Beach faced rough seas and heavy defenses, but eventually overcame them, advancing further inland than any other Allied force on D-Day. British forces at Sword Beach, including units of the 3rd Infantry Division, also met stiff resistance but succeeded in linking up with airborne troops who had been dropped the night before. Air and naval support played a crucial role throughout the invasion. Allied bombers and fighters provided cover and attacked German positions, while naval ships bombarded the coastal defenses. Despite these efforts, many German fortifications remained intact, contributing to the high casualties, particularly at Omaha Beach. By the end of the day, despite heavy losses and intense fighting, the Allies had secured a foothold on all 5 beaches. The success of D-Day was a testament to the courage and determination of the Allied soldiers, sailors, and airmen. Their efforts on June 6, 1944, marked the beginning of the end for Nazi Germany, paving the way for the liberation of Western Europe. By the end of D-Day, the Allies had established a precarious foothold on the beaches of Normandy. The days that followed were critical as the Allies sought to secure their positions and push further into occupied France. This chapter explores the immediate aftermath of the landings and the efforts to expand the beachhead. After the intense fighting on June 6, 1944, the Allied forces worked tirelessly to consolidate their positions on the 5 landing beaches. As mentioned previously, securing the beachheads at Utah, Omaha, Gold, Juno, and Sword was only the first step. The Allies had to quickly establish defensive positions and prepare for expected German counterattacks. One of the primary objectives was to link the 5 separate beachheads into a continuous front. This involved securing the areas between the beaches and eliminating pockets of German resistance. At Omaha and Gold, the American and British forces worked to connect their positions, while the Canadians at Juno pushed towards both Gold and Sword beaches. The Germans, realizing the importance of the Allied beachhead, launched several counterattacks in an attempt to push the Allies back into the sea. These counterattacks were particularly fierce around the town of Carentan, which was crucial for linking the Utah and Omaha beachheads. The 101st Airborne Division, having secured key positions the night before, played a vital role in repelling these attacks and holding the town. As the beachheads were secured, the focus shifted to advancing inland and capturing strategic objectives. Key targets included the town of Caen, a major road hub, and the port of Cherbourg, vital for bringing in supplies. The British and Canadian forces aimed to capture Caen, but faced stiff resistance from well-entrenched German forces. Despite heavy fighting, they managed to make significant progress. Ensuring a steady flow of supplies was critical for sustaining the invasion force. The Allies quickly established mulberry harbors, as mentioned previously, to facilitate the unloading of cargo. These artificial harbors allowed the Allies to bring in essential supplies, vehicles, and reinforcements directly to the beaches. Additionally, the successful deployment of the pipeline under the ocean, Pluto, ensured a continuous supply of fuel from Britain to the front lines. Continuous air and naval support remained crucial in the days following D-Day. Allied aircraft provided reconnaissance, close air support, and targeted bombing of German positions. Naval artillery continued to support ground operations, targeting German fortifications and troop movements. The battle to secure the beachhead was marked by numerous challenges, including difficult terrain, strong German defenses, and the need for effective coordination among diverse Allied forces. Despite these obstacles, the determination and resilience of the Allied troops ensured steady progress. Securing the beachhead in Normandy was a critical step towards the liberation of France and the eventual defeat of Nazi Germany. The success of these efforts demonstrated the Allies' capability to sustain a large-scale invasion and marked the beginning of a broader campaign to liberate Western Europe. With the beachhead secured, the Allies turned their attention to liberating France and pushing further into Nazi-occupied Europe. This chapter explores the key battles and strategic advances that marked the path to victory following the initial success of D-Day. After securing the beachheads, the Allies faced the challenge of breaking out from the constricted Normandy region. The dense hedgerow country, known as the Bocage, provided ideal defensive terrain for the Germans. The Battle of the Hedgerows involved intense close-quarters combat as Allied forces worked to penetrate these natural defenses. American forces, employing new tactics and equipment, gradually gained the upper hand, allowing for a broader offensive. As mentioned previously, capturing the port of Cherbourg was a critical objective. After intense fighting, American forces liberated Cherbourg on June 26, 1944. This victory provided a vital supply port, enhancing the Allies' logistical capabilities and supporting the continued buildup of forces in Normandy. In late July 1944, American forces launched Operation Cobra, a major offensive designed to break through the German defenses in Normandy. The operation began with a massive aerial bombardment, followed by a swift and powerful ground assault. The success of Operation Cobra allowed Allied forces to advance rapidly, leading to the eventual encirclement and destruction of German forces in the Falaise Pocket. One of the most iconic moments of the campaign was the liberation of Paris. On August 25, 1944, French and American forces entered the city, greeted by jubilant Parisians. The liberation of Paris was not only a significant military victory, but also a powerful symbol of the Allies' progress and the beginning of the end for Nazi occupation in Western Europe. Following the liberation of Paris, Allied forces continued their advance into Belgium and the Netherlands. Key battles, such as the liberation of Brussels and the critical port of Antwerp, further weakened German control. The Allies faced stiff resistance, but their momentum was unstoppable. In September 1944, the Allies launched Operation Market Garden, an ambitious plan to secure key bridges in the Netherlands and create a direct route into Germany. Despite initial successes, the operation ultimately fell short of its objectives, highlighting the challenges and uncertainties of warfare. Nevertheless, the Allies continued to press forward, adapting their strategies and maintaining pressure on the retreating German forces. In December 1944, the Germans launched a surprise counteroffensive known as the Battle of the Bulge. Aiming to split the Allied lines and capture the vital port of Antwerp, the Germans initially made significant gains. However, the Allies, demonstrating remarkable resilience and coordination, eventually repelled the attack. The failure of this last major German offensive marked a turning point, with the Allies firmly on the path to victory. By early 1945, Allied forces had reached the Rhine River, the last major natural barrier before entering Germany. In March, they successfully crossed the Rhine at Remagen, paving the way for the final push into the heart of Nazi Germany. The rapid advance through Germany led to the capture of key cities, the liberation of concentration camps, and ultimately the fall of Berlin. On May 7, 1945, Germany unconditionally surrendered to the Allies, marking the end of World War II in Europe. The successful campaign, from the beaches of Normandy to the heart of Germany, was a testament to the courage, determination, and coordination of the Allied forces. The road to victory was fraught with challenges, but the Allies' perseverance and strategic brilliance led to the defeat of Nazi Germany and the liberation of Europe. 80 years after the historic landings, D-Day remains a powerful symbol of courage, sacrifice, and the relentless fight for freedom. This chapter explores how D-Day is commemorated today, the stories of those who participated, and the lasting legacy of this pivotal event in history. Every year, ceremonies are held in Normandy and around the world to honor the veterans and fallen soldiers of D-Day. On June 6th, people gather at memorials, cemeteries, and beaches to pay tribute. The Normandy American Cemetery and Memorial overlooking Omaha Beach is a focal point for these commemorations, with thousands of visitors attending to remember the sacrifices made. As mentioned previously, the bravery and determination of the Allied troops were critical to the success of D-Day. Many veterans have shared their personal stories, providing invaluable first-hand accounts of the invasion. These narratives, whether told in documentaries, interviews, or written memoirs, offer profound insights into the experiences of those who were there. Programs like the Veterans History Project preserve these stories for future generations. Numerous monuments and memorials have been erected to honor the heroes of D-Day. In addition to the Normandy American Cemetery, significant sites include the Pegasus Bridge Museum, dedicated to the British airborne troops who captured the bridge, and the Juno Beach Center, which commemorates the contributions of Canadian forces. These sites serve as educational resources, helping visitors understand the scope and significance of the D-Day operations. Educational initiatives play a crucial role in preserving the legacy of D-Day. Schools, museums, and historical organizations offer programs and materials to teach younger generations about the events of June 6, 1944. Interactive exhibits, guided tours, and virtual reality experiences provide immersive ways to learn about the strategic planning, execution, and impact of the D-Day landings. D-Day has also left an indelible mark on popular culture. Films like Saving Private Ryan and The Longest Day, along with numerous books and documentaries, have brought the story of D-Day to a wide audience. These portrayals, while dramatized, help to convey the gravity and heroism of the invasion, ensuring that the memory of D-Day remains vivid and impactful. D-Day is not only remembered in the Allied countries but also internationally. The invasion marked a turning point in the global fight against tyranny and oppression. International leaders frequently attend commemorative events, emphasizing the enduring significance of the Allied victory and the importance of global cooperation. Beyond the formal commemorations, D-Day holds personal significance for many families. Descendants of those who fought often visit Normandy to trace their relatives' footsteps and pay their respects. These personal pilgrimages highlight the lasting connection between the past and present, ensuring that the legacy of D-Day continues to resonate. The legacy of D-Day extends far beyond the battlefield. It symbolizes the collective effort of nations united against a common enemy, the extraordinary bravery of ordinary people, and the enduring fight for freedom and justice. As we remember D-Day, we honor the sacrifices made and reaffirm our commitment to the values for which they fought. The 80th anniversary of D-Day is a poignant reminder of the courage, sacrifice, and determination that defined June 6, 1944. This historic event, detailed in our chapters, underscores the strategic planning, intense preparation, and heroic actions of the Allied forces. From the tense night before the invasion to the fierce battles on the beaches and the critical efforts to secure the beachhead and advance towards victory, D-Day remains a cornerstone of World War II history. Remembering D-Day is not just about honoring the past but also about educating future generations and reflecting on the values of freedom and unity. Annual commemorations, veteran stories, monuments, and educational programs ensure that the legacy of D-Day lives on. The cultural impact through films, books, and documentaries helps to keep the memory alive, while personal pilgrimages and international recognition highlight the ongoing significance of this historic event. As we conclude this series on the 80th anniversary of D-Day, we invite you to stay connected with History Docos for more in-depth explorations of significant historical events. Follow us on social media to stay updated with our latest videos, behind-the-scenes content, and engaging discussions. Your support helps us continue to bring these important stories to life. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, History Docos, where we delve into a wide range of historical topics, from ancient civilizations to modern conflicts. Join our community of history enthusiasts as we celebrate the lessons of the past and their relevance to the present and future. Thank you for watching and commemorating this pivotal moment in history with us. Let's continue to honor the bravery and sacrifices of those who fought for freedom and strive to uphold the values they defended. Join History Docos as we continue to explore the rich tapestry of our shared past. By understanding history, we can better appreciate the present and build a more informed future. Thank you for being part of our journey.